Hello, everyone. I am Lucy Hanna, programmer at the San Francisco Documentary Film Festival. Today, we have Denise Larson, writer and producer, and Betsy Newman, the director of one of the hottest films in our lineup, Anarchy and High Heels. And from the title, it's Le Nicolette, the very San Franciscan feminism and everything, sexiness and everything before even feminism was a word. Welcome to our festival. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Lucy.
Speaking of your film, let's cut to the chase. Tell me about your relationship with the Le Nicolette that made you, and the point that you decided, okay, let's make a film about that. And I know it wasn't easy to make a film that was heavily dependent on archival material and
Right.
still make it very interesting and very current and very pinching.
Well, I would just let Denise start off, but I will say that we could never have made this film. Denise is the founder of the Nicolettes, and she saved everything. So we had so much documentary evidence, as they say, We had all the flyers, the reviews, the photographs, the ancient videos. So I just want to give her credit for that because that really made it possible. But go, Denise.
Yeah, so I sort of accidentally created the Nicolettes in 1972, and it just grew and expanded in ways I never would have ever dreamed of. I didn't plan it out, um, but we were active for 13 years mostly the San Francisco, but we went to New York once and did a few other things. Um, but it was such a great adventure, and it was one thing I would never have done on my own. And having the support of all these women throughout the years, and we built the bonds together, that's what really made it last so long. And then when after we kind of finished up performing a few years later, I decided to write a book about the experience. And it just took me 30 years to finish that project and get it published. Um, but I just didn't want the story to be swept under the rug and into the pan of history, like so many women's stories are. And so then once the book came out, I went my friend Betsy and said, "Hey," because she makes documentaries. So I said, "Hey, what if we make a documentary about this?" So we decided to team up with some other people that were in the group and helped us produce it. And yeah, there were times when I didn't think it was going to happen, but we did it.
You did it, yes, and we have a very beautiful film. Betsy, when it came to you, I mean, what were your initial thoughts? What ran through your head? It's a big thing. I mean, like she's hitting another new documentary record, 30 years of hearing filmmakers talk. I've been working about on it for 10 years, for 5 years now. Like I've been working on it for 30 years, you know?
Yeah. Well, I loved Denise's book, and it was just so great to have our work together documented in a book. And I remember one of our team, Judy, she hosted a 40th anniversary at her place in Santa Rosa, which I attended, and there were several. I mean, there were about 10 Nicolettes there, and everybody was like, "Yes, a documentary! What a great idea!" And so I have worked for public television for 25 years. And during that time, I will just, I guess I could say I learned how to make a documentary. I've made a lot of documentaries for South Carolina Public Television. And so when Denise and I started talking about it, it seemed like a possibility. And then I contacted Debbie Zimmerman at Women Make Movies, and Debbie is someone I've known forever, and because I lived in New York when Women Make Movies was started, when Debbie started it in I think in the 80s, and so I called her up, and she agreed to be our fiscal sponsor. And so that was really important to have that support. Yeah, so then it seemed like, oh, all right, let's do it. Just kind of like we always did with the Nicolettes. Let's, you know,
Can I interject one thing
yeah.
right here? Betsy just recently won a regional Emmy for one of her other projects. So yeah,
Oh, thank you, Denise.
yeah,
Good karma, the good vibes. Thank you. Thank
yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
So, speaking to our Emmy trophy filmmaker, this film initially and the Les Nicolettes, they present a symbol of comedy, rebellionism, feminism, all kind of titles that I think during their time, I don't think they realized where the history would place them. And then the film comes to you, and you're not just dealing with performers, you're dealing with a symbol, um, a historic movement, people that cracked the very first pieces of the wall, introducing us to this freedom and giving women power, and that many generations now are building on. And actually, right now we're fighting to keep it.
Yes, that's so
So,
true.
Yes, yes.
when you were drawing your first map on this film on how to execute it, what did you want to keep, and how did you keep that balance? Because they are so many things, and sometimes the scales might just like involuntarily just tip into some direction or too much. But I felt like you kept the pieces intact, and you still gave us San Francisco too.
Yeah. Do you want to address that, Denise?
Oh, I guess I just want to say that, yeah, you're right. When we were going through it, we were just doing it because it was coming out, and it was like, wow, we can express this humor as women, this female humor, and that was like a revelation. Now like they say empowerment, but uh, and then just coming together as women because we had always gotten the message from our youth that, you're supposed to be competitive with other women and you're supposed to, oh, they're going to steal your boyfriend or whatever. And coming together and forming a bond was so strong and we couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, and I think as far as the sort of evolution of the film goes, it was really important to have Denise's book, and that was the foundation. And we we use that as both a kind of a structure and also sort of a jumping off place, I guess, for certain things. But we did, you know, the San Francisco of that era was just like a big boiling cauldron of creativity, and and so we wanted to bring that out too, and also the underground comics and underground film, and how all of that came together to not, and it wasn't just the Nicolettes by any means. I mean, we had the San Francisco Mime Troupe and Lilith Theater. And I was going over in my mind this morning, we had theater workers and theater rhinoceros. I mean, and there were places to perform and rehearse that were just easy to find. So yeah, so we wanted to give a kind of a feeling for the San Francisco that created us really in a way.
Yeah, as artists, we could actually afford to live here.
Oh, that's definitely a very sensitive point. Well, definitely, since San Francisco has always been that creativity environment and the place where freedom still exists to a sense, and where people can self-express and feel accepted and blend in. And there's something magical about San Francisco that anyone can fit.
Yes.
without a question, including myself. So
You bet.
imagine me fitting, you know. So, how did the Les Nicolettes feel about making a film?
Oh, I think everybody was. So there were five of us,
Yeah.
and as producers, and it was very similar to when we used to work together in theater. It was a
Yeah.
similar kind of process of everyone chiming in and boosting our confidence, and things got, as any film making process goes, as Denise said, there were moments when it was like, oh no, this is not going to happen. But we I think it was that old Nicolette spirit that
Hmm.
Kicked in.
Yeah, it's like we can do anything as long as we're together, right?
True.
Yeah.
That's true. I totally agree. Power of women. Like you said earlier, the whole narrative is trying to um, turn women into the very lame materialism of, oh, you gotta keep your boyfriend, you gotta inject jealousy and all that kind of stuff. But while us women, we're good on our own. Just leave us alone. We'll do
Yeah.
our thing
Yeah.
and we'll
Right.
succeed. So that's really very impressive. After you were done with the film, and I'm sure you had a lot of emotions throughout the making process and putting the pieces together. Um, how did you feel? How did the other ladies feel after they watched themselves, like the final cut? What happened to you guys?
Well,
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Betsy.
we really, there were many versions. Everyone had their opinion, and that was good. So I was the editor, primary editor too, and so I would go through it and take advice and change it, and but I just want to say how wonderful it is that it's premiering at the San Francisco Documentary Festival. This is our premiere, and y'all have just been the best and just made us feel so great about being there and having our premiere at your festival. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I feel the stars aligned in ways that I could have never imagined. That's the film is premiering in the so absolutely right place for it.
That's right.
Right? Like all
Yeah,
of the
right.
stars aligned.
That's right.
Something that we totally agreed on once we saw the film in the queue and like, we got this.
I just wanted to quickly say one thing about affordability. Um, San Francisco was tremendously affordable back there in the 70s and 80s. But I have so much confidence in young people that I don't want to be ever saying, oh, we had it so much better and therefore we could do this, that, or the other thing, because I know that young people can do whatever they put their minds to. And what we did is perfectly achievable, even if it's just more expensive to live there or to live in New York. But the vivacity and energy of youth cannot be brought down by expensive rents.
Expensive rents and the political narrative and so many
Ah, the
things that are going on.
oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely power of the youth. We're the new fighters. You hand the torch to us.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
Well,
when I watched the film, go ahead. Do you want to
Oh,
say
I was just
something?
gonna say, I just wanted to put out there that part of the narrative fights against what we were in that era, what that women aren't funny. And I think we proved that wrong.
Women are funny and
Yeah,
serious in
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I mean, women are one of the most powerful creatures the planet Earth ever knew.
That's right.
When I watched your film, I had this thought. I asked myself that question. Would you wanna perform again, get together and perform for the audience once again? Get together and do it. Is this something that you're thinking of?
we've talked about it.
Yeah. We talked about like revisiting some of the old scripts and taking a look at them and see if they could be updated and modernized. We thought that would be fun.
I've
We
actually
also,
read.
we had every year after a certain point, we had an award ceremony, which was a fundraiser. So that's another thing we've talked about is reviving the Salmon Awards.
I would love to be in person watching you perform again. I
Well,
think it's not
you
gonna
would
only
get
be me.
a Salmon Award.
Um, to wrap it, I have one last question for you. What do you hope that your audience feel once they watch your film? What do you want them to come out with?
I hope they feel all the things that you wrote about on it.
That's enough.
I think you summed it up so great, and I think we're so excited to share it with younger people and get their feedback on it because we did discuss that as we went along, that we hoped that would be part of the audience.
And definitely landed to me. I didn't know about the Les Nicolettes before. And
Right.
now I'm just about, I want to watch them for one last time, please. And that's the power of documentary filmmaking.
Yeah.
We get to learn the things that happened in other lives, you know, and,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm a huge fan of documentary. I feel it's very important to document symbols like you guys and to keep it preserved and keep the fight going. Betsy, what do you hope for your audience to feel after watching your piece?
Well, I some friends of mine had a private screening here for about 10 people. So I have watched it with that small audience. And when I was finished watching it with an audience, I did have a very strong feeling about women, the importance of women being together and doing work that expresses ourselves. So that came across to me very strong in watching it. And I hope that people would feel that as well.
And I am pretty sure you're gonna get a glimpse of how that looks like really in person very soon. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I'm glad that you made the film. Thank you for making this film. Thank you for documenting this movement. And
Yeah.
we're so glad we are showing it in the exactly right spot it should be shown.
That's
It's
right.
very perfect, it's like a puzzle that just fits right in. Looking forward to meeting you in person, and thanks
Yeah.
again.
Likewise.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Thank you.